Hey friends, it's Matt Barnett, and I want to give you a quick tutorial about assigning work within StudySync. So the first thing you want to do is click on Core ELA ELD, which is what we're working on. And let's say that you were in 6th grade, which is this example right here. And if you're in Unit 1, you can be whatever unit you want, but let's start with Unit 1 just for this example. I click on Core ELA ELD unit rather. And then when you're in here, it kind of gives you some information about the unit and things like that. When you click on instructional path, these are all the different options that you have for the stories that you're going to read and activities you can do. So let's say that we're starting off with Hatchet. And let's say that we're going to do the first read. Now keep in mind that with this, there's a really good progression of activities to do. You have your first read, you have your skill that you're having the students develop, which typically has a video that goes along with it. You also have another activity. This is one that's Greek and Latin roots. And in addition to that, we have the close read. So I really like that progression of first read, activities to build skills, and then the close read, which works out really, really nicely. So one thing that's really important is that when you're doing the different activities, if you're doing the first read, for example, if you click on preview, if you didn't tag anything in that proficiency list, like we talked about previously, it just has the introduction and also the recording of the introduction. You click play, and the video goes, which is really good. Now, if you've selected something from proficiency, so for example, let's say you clicked expanding, you'll notice that there's a scaffold tab that comes here. When you click on that, there are activities that go here. Now keep in mind, the activities that are in the scaffold tab are the same activities that you see in the Access PDF. Now this Access PDF is terrific, and I recommend that if your students need it, that you provide it for them. But you can also get it digitally here, which is also nice. Now, and one thing I think that's really good about this is that you can have the students read the physical story with the book that went home with them, and then do this activity digitally, and that way you'll have a record. And keep in mind, all of these activities are tagged with whatever standards that they're working on. And as they finish it, you'll have a record of which standard that they've been working on with the activities. So just keep that in mind as you're working. So anyway, so keep in mind that this first in the intro, there's scaffolds there, and there's vocabulary and things like that, which is nice, some questions to ask. When you get to the read part, this is kind of nice. We have like a budget vocabulary matrix where we have the word, the definition, and then a picture that goes along with it. That's a great scaffold for students as they're learning more about the vocabulary that's within the story. And then also, when you get to the think questions, there are sentence frames that are provided here, which I think are really good, that helps the students work with the questions that they're asking. So for example, what does the excerpt tell you about Gary Paulson's life before he became a successful writer? Cite textual evidence for your answer. So here we have a great sentence frame. Before he became a successful writer, Gary Paulson worked blank. Gary Paulson had free time so he could blank. So this all helps get that information about his life before he was a successful writer. Students type in the response there, and then they can put that response, type it down here. But the sentence frame, I think, is a really good thing, good resource that goes along. So this is some great opportunities that you have for students to do some work. Keep in mind, all of these think questions are also tagged, and all that work that they do within that will show up in your grade book, and it will show which standards that you've been working through and working on. I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope you have a great time working with StudySync with your students. And keep in mind, if they can answer the questions digitally, but they can read physically if you sent the anthology home. Have a great day, and thanks so much for watching this video.